Star Citizen added a new ship into the game, I think 2 weeks ago. It's called the Cutlass Steel. And to me it appears it's a total scam. The word scam gets thrown around a lot in the Star Citizen community, but this one is, I think, 100% a total scam. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 100% scam. So let's compare the different ships here. Okay, now first we got that's the Cutlass Steel, and here's the Cutlass Black. Where's the Cutlass Black? Notice the Cutlass Black, 108 euros. Cutlass Steel, 227, more than double the price. As you can see, they look very similar. I would even say they look identical, 100% identical even, except for very small details, which I think are the really scammy part of it. Okay, let's take another screenshot. Okay, now we can see the ships are identical. You got intakes looking the same, all the small details. You see here the texturing on the panel, exactly the same. Door lock the same. Canopies exactly the same shape. Fuselage, rockets, racks in here. Okay, now some might say, wait, some rockets are different in the ship because they actually say it in the shop page. You hear missiles. Now it says it has different, it appears those are different missiles than the base variant gets. But those are still missile thingies, which are entirely different models, put in pre-placed slots where missiles are fitted. And again, that adds to the scammy part here, which I will explain in a moment. Now let's look at the interior. You see here, this is a Cutlass Black. You got pictures from Cutlass Steel. You can see they look very similar. There's some difference in the markings over here. Wait, it's actually not different. Oh, is it? I think it's the same panel, it's just perspective foreshortening. I think it's the exact same panel. So it's identical in this part. But the only thing that's different here is the seats that were added on the interior. Now the seats, they're identical copies of each other. Now the argument here is, okay, the seats can be identical because in an airplane you probably have a lot of seats that look exactly the same because they're modeled after the same object. Okay, well, the seats are the only thing that's inside that's new, and those mounted guns. Let's look at the mounted guns for a moment. Here you have the door guns. Now the problem here is with the door guns, they're external models that got attached to the ship, just like everything else that was added to the ship, and that's the scam part. Now, if you're new to, not familiar with video game modeling objects for video games, there's a thing called remapping. So basically you have the model, like the Cutlass Black. Imagine it's like it's an orange that you're peeling. So if you want to texture it, you peel a thing, and then you flatten it out on a flat area, and then you paint the textures. And that's called remapping, when you take different faces from the geometry, and ideally you peel them off in large pieces so you can continuously paint them. And that's a tedious process in game development, and not many people like doing it. It's difficult, it's tedious, it's really hard to do. And the scammy part is, I think, in this ship they completely avoided that 100%. Because if you look at all the things that were added to the ship, they were added in a way so it doesn't interfere with the base geometry. They were basically kitbashed on top of it without any UV maps joining to each other, because it would be hard work, and it appears that something that Cloud Imperium Games doesn't like to do late in the year. Let's take a look here. So here, that's the new seating area. I'll have a better screenshot for that. Here's a Cutlass Black. Now notice, the geometry is just superimposed. It's not connected to the below the ship, it just plopped into it, so you don't see the seams, that it's actually just a model that's just placed onto it without actually being integrated properly. Here everything is just placed on top of it without disturbing the original UV map of the ship. which means they didn't have to modify anything on the original ship, which means the original ship is 100% identical to the new ship, plus the extra stuff that was copy-pasted into it without disturbing the UV map. And then they charge twice the price for it to sell you the same thing again with some slight modifications on top of it. And this is why, for me, this feels like a total scam. And I think it's a very hostile marketing tactic towards the customer. I think it's possible for game developers to be friendly with customers. Like if the customers, as a customer, you go in, you buy something you like from the game, you pay for it, you get quality, and you think, okay, next time I'm going to buy more stuff if it's good quality. However, what's currently happening with Star Citizen is that, at least with this ship, they're not exploring what's the maximum quality they can do. They're exploring how little quality they can do while still getting paid. And I think there's even another part that's really bad about this. And then again, that's my speculation. Until the end of November, the roadmap said that we would get cargo refactor and salvage the first tier at the end of December. That would have meant cargo interaction, ships with cargo interaction, and ships with salvage. That, however, got pushed away 6 months. My theory is it got away 6 months so they could drop this ship and still sell this ship before the better ships come out. Which means they're withholding the quality ships so they can sell the junk ships, because players are currently starved for anything quality gameplay in this game. Which I think is a deliberate tactic by them by now. Because in half a year, when the Vulture comes out, when Cargo Refactor is out, then they can sell you a Cutlass Black for twice the price with just a few guns added onto it and a few seats.